What's up, everybody? This is your boy here at Tebogo, and we are here in the green room right now. We're here to discuss a serious topic now, but first, I want to introduce a lovely guest of mine here. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is Nomaswazi, and I'd also like to give you a warm welcome to the Green Room. Yes, today we're going to be talking about um, issues that surround the youth, especially because it is Youth Month. We are commemorating Inyanga Yabantu Abasha. So today we just decided we need to talk to the youth. We need to, discuss a very important topic. Yeah.
And absolutely, and this topic that we have now, it's very fiery. It's very controversial, because it's something that's happening within the youth, and we just want to bring light to this topic, We just want to bring visibility,
Yeah. Because,
Can I say that?
yeah, because it is something that is happening on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Every day in schools, wherever. Peer pressure doesn't only happen to young people who are in schools and everything. Also, old people, they get very pressurized by their peers. So it's a thing of any age.
Yeah.
Yeah, any group age, it happens. It's real. So, yeah, we just want to address that today, guys.
And me being a victim of it, once upon a time, but I was able to move away from that, and just focus more on myself, So yeah, for now, I just want to bring visibility to this topic, Just want to share some few insights on it, And I just want to point out this meaning. So peer pressure is actually the influence exerted by a peer group that encourages individuals to change their attitudes, values, behaviors to align with the group's norms. And this influence can be positive and
also
negative.
negative, yeah.
And it's a common experience, especially during adolescence, That is a crucial point,
Yeah.
Because it can involve suggestions or direct demands, and it can lead to both harmless and harmful actions, Yeah.
Yeah. When you say adolescence, Tineka is a stage.
Yeah,
When we say
stage,
umuntu,
yeah.
when we say stage, we are talking about adolescence. Yeah. And peer pressure is basically about feeling the need to fit in, feeling the need to change who you are, change yourself, change how you dress, to just fit in a specific group, especially if you want to make friends or you want to feel accepted by some people, Yeah. That's when peer pressure hits. Yeah. And you said you were a victim of peer pressure. I want to know how. When did it start? Like, how did everything unfold? And how were you able to shy away from it?
Okay, so I've had a lot of friends, like mostly being in a group of boys, you have to prove everything, you have to prove that you stand out from the rest, and that being, had to do a lot of things, few I can't mention, because hey, it's very serious now. It's very serious.
Yeah.
But me shying away from it, I just realized that I have to put myself in everything that I do, Not try to fit in, not try to be amongst others, because I believe, I can be myself and be unique in myself, So yeah.
So personally, I've never been a victim of peer pressure. I don't want to lie. Like, I've always, me growing up, I've always been in my head the main character, So I've never found pressure with it. I want to fit in a certain group. I'm not the type to fit in. If I have to sit alone, that's what I'm gonna do. Fortunately enough for me, I'm a person who just loves people. I love talking to people. So people automatically they want to be around me. But I've never, even when I like something with all of my heart, I'm seeing this other girl. She has these, she has that, she has Gucci sneakers, she has this. I'm like, it's good for her. Yeah, now I'm gonna reach that point somewhere, but I'm not going to go extra miles to extreme things and get I'm a blessed to just have Gucci sneakers. Yeah, slowly but surely, I'm also gonna get there. You just have to understand as an individual that my life cannot be the same as someone else's life. Sometimes where someone is where they need to be at that certain point in their lives. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about hard work, in this field.
Yeah. But I think I have been somewhat, I wouldn't say a victim of peer pressure, but because it falls to being pressurized in a positive way. The only things that I take from being I think it's the only way that peer pressure can, manhandle me is when I look up to someone in a positive way and I'm like, okay, this is something that I also want to do for myself. I want to do this much good things for myself. I think that's how peer pressure has impacted me in my life. But the negative things, nah. I've always felt like I have power, I have a choice. If I want to do something, the only reason I've done bad things or the not so good things was because of a choice. I wanted to do some. I didn't want to do some. So everything that I've done is because I wanted. I wasn't pushed, but I don't even want to lie on. Everything I've done, good or bad, has always been because I wanted to.
Yeah, it's basically knowing the difference between right and wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what yeah.
Yeah, that's mostly important,
Yeah.
But for now, I just want to dive into the types of peer pressure. I think maybe you guys want insights on that. So yeah, we're gonna cover that now. So the types of peer pressure are mostly the positive, the negative, the direct, and the indirect one. So we're gonna start with the positive one. The positive one means that it encourages good habits like studying for a test or participating in healthy activities. It could be your gym, it could be your diets, whatever. Yeah. So the negative one, it encourages harmful behaviors such as substance abuse, risky sexual activity, or bullying. And that's a touchy subject there.
Yeah.
Very, very
It's,
touchy. Yeah.
and yeah, when you're talking about the negative peer pressure and you mention risky sexual activity.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, man? I feel like at school we're not given the full insight of that part of life, the sexual part of life. Yeah. Because if we did, man, there wouldn't be so many young girls pregnant out there. I feel like it's something that has to go beyond the classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to dive deeper into these things.
Some things you just gotta learn by yourself.
Yeah. Have an environment where you can actually, go deeper into these things, and actually, yeah.
No, I get you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, unfortunately, I don't think this is an appropriate platform to speak about all of that. But one of the good days, we're going to have a platform where, we invite girls and boys, I mean, personally, I want to do that. I want to tell them, I want to tell young girls more what their parents can't even face them and say to their faces, because yeah, we need to stop sugarcoating things. We need to say things
Yeah.
exactly how they are. Yeah.
Just put them out.
Just put them out. It must be known. And also substance abuse. It starts as a small thing. You're like, I step in
Yeah.
I'm trying this new thing. I'm trying weed, and apparently it's not harmful. Mabesho.
Hey.
Yeah. And then it starts as a small thing. And then haibo. And then when I'm venturing into something new. I'm experiencing something new. And then it grows into something serious. Kancane.
Yeah.
You are evolving in this thing without even noticing. Hi bo, when I saw Shama, I'm a sekel.
Hey.
Oh, gulungulami.
Hey, disclaimer there. Hey.
Yeah, and then you find yourself.
Yeah.
You have given yourself to substances. You are now a stoner, a smoker, a real like someone who's just all in this thing. Being a groupist is not bad. Yeah, as long as you have limits.
Yeah.
You know when to stop. Wise people know when to stop. Yeah. Disciplined people know when to stop. Know when something is getting out of hand. Knowing when something is getting extreme. Yeah. Guys, some things you must watch how you play and the things that you do. Play safe.
Play safe. Yeah. And I think as the youth, we need to educate ourselves on that specific topic, because there's a lot of things that are happening, especially substance abuse, We have a lot of people that are taking drugs, they're abusing them. They're even selling them worse, and that pollutes other children, Yeah. So that's a crucial topic, we cover now.
And I think It's very important as an individual to know your identity. Yeah.
Surely.
Know who you are, know what you stand for, know that, okay, I'm not too formal. I can be able to be casual and do what other people are doing or what my peers are doing. I don't have to be uptight and all formal and everything. But at the end of the day, know that mawulahleka uphinde ubuye. And it must be you that get yourself back into the right track. Yabo. Know who you are. Because that way you're not going to give in easily to peer pressure.
Yeah.
Know why you are where you are at this point in life so that you can be able to not compare yourself with someone else.
Definitely.
Yeah. And appreciate whatever you have. Because if you do not appreciate what you have and you're looking at what another person has, believe me, you're going to be pressurized in a negative way to a point where you do things that are not quite good in order to get whatever the other person has in life. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, I just want to dive into another type of peer pressure. This one is called direct peer pressure. So it involves explicit requests or demands from peers. Covering that, I think maybe a lot of people have been through that, And speaking about explicit, hey,
Sifuna ukwazi explicit ukuthi
yeah, I think
Hamba
we're,
kanjani?
I think we're diving into another crucial point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think explicit can be like certain things. I don't know if I can name them. A few maybe. Explicit.
It's all up to you.
Yeah.
It's all up to you, really. Do you feel like but we all know what explicit is.
Yeah, I
Isn't
think
it
we all know.
ongamelanga uzibone ngamehlo
Yeah,
akho?
that you shouldn't see. Yeah?
Like especially if you're at a certain age. Yeah. When I'm talking about it at a certain age, guys, it's very important to know that there is a time for everything. And I know when we are still growing up, we're still in high school, we're still in primary, we do not understand that. For one, I never understood there's a time for everything because we were always rushing into, okay, I want to do this, I want to be
So
a
for the fun,
girlfriend,
so,
I want to,
hey. Yeah.
But go back when you're now older and you have committed all the mistakes that you can't even erase, that you can't even forget about. One mistake is having a baby at a young age. Ne? You can't reverse the baby. You can't unwind and go back to time and be like, oh my God, I wish. Because Master's Kula, we actually realized it was true when they said there's time for everything. Now I'm realizing it. And when you realize such things when the damage has already happened. So it's very important for the kids from primary school, not preschool, preschool, what?
Hey.
Primary school, high school level, to understand that there's time for everything. Do not rush.
Don't rush.
Don't rush.
The
I
time
know
is coming.
it sounds pathetic and it sounds selfish when we hear it from parents because we think that they don't want us to experience the good things in life. And it's better hearing it from your peers, us, if we are your peers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, man, there's actually time for it. Don't rush things. Take it slow.
Definitely.
Akukho la sijahe khona empilweni. Uzofika lapho, and when you actually do something at the right time, everything unfolds well. Nothing goes wrong, and you're able, even if something goes wrong, you're able to take yourself out of that situation safely. In a good way, in a right way, in a way that is going to profit you and your future at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta think about a future.
Yeah.
Because just let time take its course. Yeah, that's very important. So I just want to dive into another one called indirect peer pressure. So this one involves influences or unspoken expectations. Let's say maybe your friends are expecting you to do something. Maybe it could be a girlfriend or boyfriend. They're expecting you to do something that you're not willing to do. Yeah. So I think it talks more about that, and influences, maybe being brought into maybe a certain type of level or a certain type of thing that is not familiar with you.
Yeah.
No, I think that's
Communicating is important. Communicating your feelings.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable with doing something, if you're not comfortable with doing something, that's important. Communicating and also understanding when you get yourself into something good. Okay, at the end of the day, no maganjani, this is going to be expected from me. So before I actually put myself in the situation, am I ready to give all that? am I ready for that? Am I ready for that situation? So you really need to be honest with yourself and think about everything. And because sometimes we act like victims because we don't think about whatever that we need to cater for once we are in a specific situation, Yeah.
Yeah, you got to think about what you're doing
Yeah.
at some points, you know.
Think, guys.
Yeah.
Ooh, think, Shem.
Because, hey, you might end up doing something that you're later going to
Yeah.
regret.
And
you
I
know?
feel like I want to shy away from saying things indirectly as much as I can because we are talking about peer pressure. We're talking about something important, and we want to. The reason behind us talking about this is because we feel like this is not something that our parents talk about honestly and openly about, So, I want to say, as we're talking about knowing what is going to be expected from you once you enter a situation, I want to make an example. If you're a young girl, you're still in high school, and boom, there's this man who drives a nice car, is rich, and you actually believe it because now you're born as
Hey.
and you're like, you must think, guys. You must think. Obviously, this person, most of the time, I wouldn't say when you're in high school level, God will bring you an older man to come and uplift you and do good things in your life. I won't lie to you. God will never do that to you because God knows the steps in your life that you have to take as a young person. So you must never think if you come from a disadvantaged background and then there's this old man who promises you all of these nice things, and you actually can see Uguti, they can actually be able to do that because they have all the resources. Don't believe all of that. God will never bring you a blessing of an older man who's going to use you because at the end of the day, you're going to pay. And we all know how. Ayoko muntu is going to be like, I'm giving you this for free of charge. And they don't expect anything from you. So sometimes, and then we get surprised. As a young girl, you're like, phela manje sekafuna ukuthi mina yenza ini nayi. Like, what were you thinking? Getting yourself in that situation? You didn't have to pay anything. Nothing is for mahala in this world. And you must work for things. If you do not want to pay with your soul, pay with your body, pay in the most inappropriate ways, then you must understand that things don't come easy. The easy come things are just, most of the time, bad. They're bad news. So you need to think before you get yourself into situations with how would I have to pay at the end? Would it be worth it at the end of the day? Like, what could happen? What could go wrong?
Yeah.
And am I prepared to go through all of that? What am I gonna do if I find myself in that situation? Who's gonna help me?
Moral of the story: blessings are not a blessing.
Yeah. Tazalako. Blessings are not a slogan. Blessings are not a blessings
I think maybe they need to add it there. On the
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, I just wanna dive into the examples, of peer pressure. Should I name a few? Maybe they could be fashion, social media, substance use, and academic performances. And a fashion one, I think it's crucial.
Yeah, because
something that's happening. And mostly it's more based on young girls now, the way they dress, the way they
and also
talk.
boys too.
Yeah, boys too.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it's only fair if I talk about the girl side because I'm a girl, and you talk about the boy side because you're the boy.
Yeah.
You know everything that goes on with the boys and how boys think, and I know everything that happens with girlies. Even though I might not be correct, but I might be hitting the spot. I might be going there, So I don't talk about the girls. That's my job.
Yeah.
I'm a girl.
I'm gonna leave that to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fashion sense, it's feeling pressure to wear certain brands or styles of clothing. Maybe you find someone who's wearing Gucci, Versace, and you feel pressure to wear that, to desire that, to envy that, So it puts you in a certain state of mind. Yeah. So I think maybe being influenced into changing your fashion,
And I feel like that is the main thing that is happening these days. And that is in the forefront. When you talk about peer pressure, fashion, it has to be number one in this day and time that we're living in. Yeah. So Lubuti, there's a new in thing in the fashion space, jots, they call it
Yeah.
jots or what?
Yeah.
You want to dress like this other person now, you want to dress like a screw, you want to do this, all of that, ish, guys. It goes back to identity. Knowing who you are, knowing yourself, knowing what you like, what you love, your style, One thing about me, when I sit with my peers right now, you'd say, lo, me busisa bomdala.
Yeah.
Because that's how I am. I dress the way it complements me, my personality, and my body. I understand myself to that point, And I feel like one thing that you should always strive for is to be you, so that someone can be able to, even though there was like a group of people abaning in that place, but that person remembers you. With Amara, there was this one girl who like looked totally different from everybody else, Identity, guys, knowing yourself. Not falling for ungahambi ngomoya la kwela khona bama jots uyaya la kwela khona bama RM now uyaya, guys. And it goes back to accepting what you have at that particular time also. Yeah.
Accept what you have now because God is gonna bring more into your life. Yeah.
I think the best thing to be able to maneuver through peer pressure is taking it, looking at it in a more positive way. If there's something that you admire or you envy from someone, don't be like too jealous. Just take it over to, okay, I might have to work a little harder in my life to be able to provide all of these good things that my parents are not able to provide for me. And understanding that it doesn't make your parents useless, that they are unable to provide certain things for you, and other people's parents are doing this, that. And social media plays a crucial role in all of these things because you get to see a girl from Kuro, her mother brought her expensive jewelry and everything, and you're like looking at your parent as if they are useless, they're not doing enough. Trust me, your parents are trying their best. Just accept things for how they are, and trust me, at the end, when you are all grown, when you are able to now give yourself everything, you'll be able to have grown in such an environment or in the circumstances that you grew up in. You're going to actually be able to see, okay, I had to learn this, I had to take something away from that situation that I grew up in.
Yeah, that's important. Now you just need to take it as motivation. To do more for yourself, so the rest can take care of you.
Yeah, like look at it on a more brighter side. Don't look at it with the other eye of negatively. Take it as a good thing that's going to motivate you to doing better in your life. Yeah.
That's important. And now I just want to dive into social media now. Social media, like feeling pressure of it to present a certain image or participate in trends online.
Yeah.
That's very important now.
Social media is taking charge. Whether it is old people, young people, there's just too much pressure for social media.
Too much.
And some of it sometimes, I don't think it's people are being honest on social media all the time. People will show you all the glitz and glam, but they wouldn't share the tips and tricks on how they managed to get all of that for themselves. People won't tell you. Have you ever asked a rich person what they do? They'll never be honest about what they do, their careers. I don't want to call names, ne? But a rich person will just say, nah, I just have a business. The other side, they will not tell you the exact thing that they are doing to have, and you're like, okay, you're doing someone like, will be like, you see, with Lomundlo, it's filthy rich. What do you do for a living? I do sound. What sound in?
They're never specific about what they do.
Rich people will never tell you exactly what they do. Because you're like, sound, okay, sound, I can make money, but this person has too much money for sound. This person is doing something else. They'll never tell you. So shy away from, looking at people's things, people's materialistic things on social media and being taken without knowing how they actually get all of those things. You don't see their everyday hustle when they wake up to make the money, to work, and you decide, oh my God, this person is living their best life. How can I do that? And then you end up doing the wrong things, not knowing this person's actually doing this and that and this and that. Because if someone shows how good they're doing on social media. The moment you show us your personal life, you want us to be a part of your life. You can't be all up in Instagram and show us your house. And when we ask now, what do you do for a living? You don't want to tell us. You hide comments. You don't want comment section to be visible. That's pathetic, because the moment you show your life on social media, you want people to be a part of it.
I think it's a fake it till you make it kind of case, because on social media, people live a certain lifestyle, but in real life, they're just living totally different,
Yeah.
because you never know their backgrounds, you never
Yeah.
know where they came from,
Yeah.
what they do in order to afford this kind of lifestyle, yeah.
And they're not going to be entirely honest about what they do. I'm not going to lie to you. They are not going to be entirely honest about what they do. Keep that in mind. Yes.
Yeah, that's important, So now I just want to go to substance use. Hey, substance use.
We did talk about that, didn't we? When we made an example about weed. I think we talked about that.
I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, just bringing more insight into it, it's being pressured to drink alcohol or use drugs.
That's it. Nje.
Alcohol is very, very, very. Yeah. I think maybe we should move away from that. We should move away from that.
Why are we moving away from something?
Okay, so now getting to academic performance.
In terms of, are you rounding it off? How many questions are you left with?
Just a few.
And like how many? Like counting them.
How long has the recording been?
28.
Okay.
28.
We're supposed to make it 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
So mind you, we're exceeding. But like, this is just an introduction of the
Oh, okay.
Chinese. We want to make it too long.
Okay.
Okay, should
So
we?
you can just
Wrap. Yeah.
wrap up with this question. No, if you use a mic.
Okay. Okay, so diving into academic performance, it's feeling pressure to get good grades or participate in extracurricular activities.
Yeah. Sometimes we get jealous when we see someone else doing good, amazingly well. And then we start forming forces against that person. We don't actually work on our own academics. Guys, if you are feeling good, someone is giving you pressure academically, someone is doing better than you, please don't try to make that person feel bad. Just to work on getting good grades when yourself. Focus on you. And then understanding that people are not the same. You might get something at a later stage.
Yeah.
Someone might get it quicker than you, but it doesn't mean that you are a failure or you are dumb. What is important is that you got it at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe you shouldn't feel like you are falling behind on life,
no.
Just focus on you, focus on what you're doing, and
Put in the work, guys.
Yeah, put in the work
Put
and
in
you're
the
going to
work.
get there.
Don't be like, nah, I know that I'm slow. I'm a bit slow. I'm not going to be able to get this on time. And then you just relax. No, don't do that. Put in the work. The most important thing in life is to try to work around something. Put in the work. Be there, be present, so that even if someday it works out, someday you actually get good grades, you're like, I put in the work. Yes. I took myself from like a 0 to 100%. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
That's very, very, very important.
I think that's all right.
Yeah, I think that's all.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you guys. Thank you so much for viewing us. Leave your comments in the comment section. Tell us what you think.